Well, hello, everybody. Happy Monday night. This is the Royal We Live. I'm so glad that you are here with me on a Monday night. I look forward to these Monday nights with you, the Royal We family, each and every night that we are together. Hopefully, everything is working out. Hopefully, you can hear me. I'm looking for some people to show up. Hopefully you will show up here pretty soon. I know there's a serious lag time. Right now, I see that we are 15 seconds into it, and I don't see anybody saying hi yet. This is where it gets very, 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 very dicey for me. And the reason is because I can't tell if it's working or if I'm coming through, and I'm so scared that if I hit end stream, it's going to mess everything up. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. I don't see the chat right now, but that's okay. I'm trusting that you... Hey, yes, there's Tanya. Now we can get started. Here we go. Thank you, Tanya, so much for saying hi, being the first one on there. So glad. There you are. Carol, hi, how are you? FIFA La Fleur. Yes, we're back. Brian, how are you doing? Listen, I want to let you guys know, Gretchen, Cheryl, artist, lover, Audrey, it's so good to see all of you here. I'm so happy. I have been just working hard. I've been grinding out videos for you. As a matter of fact, right before this live stream, I was working on getting out an organic video on the Royal We channel. I suggest you watch that. If you have not yet seen it, go and watch that video right after this. I put together a weekly challenge that I'm going to do every week with you. All right? Moving forward into 2020, this is part of the change. We are not just going to sit around and talk about narcissists and how horrible they are, because we know how horrible narcissists are. But we cannot let that rule and govern our lives. We need to get out as a family, as a community, as the Royal We, and go out and be awesome in life. Okay? That is what we're going to do, whether it is just taking care of ourselves, doing little things that we've been putting off. And in the video that I uploaded just tonight on the Royal We Organic channel, I did just that. I showed you, I took you with me, the Royal We family, to get my prescription glasses, and that's what I did. So I took you on that adventure with me, on showing you what glasses I picked out and everything. Hopefully you like them. So when you watch that video, you can tell me what you think of the glasses. They're pretty cool. From now on in the videos that you'll see me wearing those glasses. And listen, I am legally, what is it? Nearsighted, farsighted? I just can't see distance. I can see fine. I can see you right now just fine, but I can't see distance, which is a problem at nighttime when I'm driving. I can't see signs and stuff like that, what they say, so I can miss exits and this and that. Anyways, I took care of that. Went and had my eyes re-examined. I'm not that bad blind. I can still pass the driving test with no glasses on, which I've had to because I've gone the past 2 years without glasses. But no matter what, I had a good time making that video. And just watched it. I'm glad you guys watched it. I started attending. So what's going on with you? Enough about me. What's happening? Shine bright. How are you doing? Tanya, it's good to see you. KK Bootsy, good to see you. Artist Lover said hi already. Connie Myers, hi. So happy. I'm happy you're here too, Connie. I really am. Gretchen, 6 months out of freedom is sweet. Listen, Gretchen, if you think 6 months is great, wait till you hit 2 years. At 2 years, you can actually start to overcome the fear of seeing the narcissist, and it will not affect you. That's what I'm going to be sharing from. And we're going on. I'm still going no contact. Went face-to-face with narcissistically abusive people, still went no contact, because you learn in time that the narcissists you do not have to have a connection with them. You do not have to have a relationship. No contact is a relationship status, and you can have that. No contact is a relationship. You could still be nice and be no contact. You could be kind to them and be no contact. You can say hi and wave at them and still be going no contact as long as you are not engaging with them in any deep conversations. You're not talking with them on a daily basis. You're not trying to get together with them for any special moments, right? It's just simple hi and bye. Boom, back to no contact. Your life is good. Wait till 2 years. It's going to be awesome. Good for you. Tanya is wearing her reading glasses. Awesome, 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 awesome. Who said you're so cool? Connie, I think you're cool. I think you're cool, Connie. Mary J. Silva, I can't pass driving tests without glasses. I did, barely. I can barely do it. I can read that bottom line, like, barely. But I'll tell you what, once I put the glasses on, it's like seeing life through a new lens, literally. Everything is so vivid. I put them on. It's been about 3 years since I've had glasses. Nobody wants to hear that right there, that music. It's been 3 years since I put the glasses on, and when I put them on, everything in the room just instantly turned so vivid, so rich in color. And I remember saying, man, glasses, I'm like, wow, glasses really make things so vivid. And they said basically, no, your eyes just lost that. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know. So they do make a difference, right? It's important. Wondering if anyone's been... Okay, so let's get into the questions. We're here for you, the Royal We family. We're a little bit late getting started, but let's get on this, all right? I want to go ahead and look at some of the questions in here. Wondering if anyone has been trauma-triggered watching Senate proceedings. I actually had to stop after 5 minutes a couple of times with pounding heart, knots, and gut. I'll tell you what, Carol, interesting question, and maybe some people here have been watching the Senate, meetings and the whole... the impeachment trial, all this nonsense stuff. It's a narcissistic, chaotic mess of a world that we live in. And I don't know whether you fall on Republican or Democratic side or whatever, it doesn't matter. But the reality is we live in a day and age where we are seeing and witnessing lies being told as truth because they feel that it's the truth, right? I mean, listen, it is what it is. It is terrible. It is terrible. And I see it constantly. Every time I stay away from watching that stuff. I vote. I do vote. And I have a side that I typically go towards. It's more the conservative side. That's just who I am. I'm a conservative. I've been more conservative, more the Christian values and that I was raised with. And so that tends to typically be less of the liberal mindset, more the conservative. That's just how I've been. But I don't shame anybody or guilt anybody for what they do vote. What I have noticed is in fact, this is what started a lot of the drama between myself and siblings, my in-laws, my wife's family, because they're all very much on the liberal side. They're all very much that, and I could tell you this, and this seems so wild to me, but this is an absolute truth. It does seem that the more liberal-minded individuals tend to be the more harsh on people who are not like that, people who are more conservative. It seems to me that most liberal-minded individuals will start name-calling, cussing, attacking, are quicker to do that type of stuff. And that's what I experienced. I mean, it seems like the whole attack I experienced from my in-laws started when I didn't vote the same way they voted. And the relationship was never the same again. I didn't say anything bad to them. I didn't call them any names. I didn't attack them, but I simply voted a different way. I showed my independence from them, and man, they hated me after that, So I typically stay away from a lot of that stuff. I stay away from watching the news. I stay away from watching these proceedings because a lot of it is just aimed at division. This is what we have to watch out for in this world of narcissism. Is one of the goals, one of the purposes is to divide, conquer, divide. It's a very narcissistic idea, and it's happening right in front of our eyes. They're still doing it. If they're not doing it with races and colors, they're doing it with liberals, conservatives. Divide and fight each other. And you know what I mean? It's and if you want to know the ultimate trickery in all of this is to get people so caught up in all this divisive bickering and fighting that we're missing the bigger picture. We're not looking at and living according to something bigger. And this is possibly on purpose. I tend to believe it is. And the question is, well, what is that? What is that bigger thing that we're missing out on while we're engaged in this meaningless fights and stuff? What is it that we're really missing out on? That's a good question. That's something to dig into, right? That's something to look into. What's the real purpose behind all of the, here, fight about this, fight about being liberal, fight about being conservative. Here, fight about the races, fight about this. Because while you're fighting about that, you're not seeing this over here. Interesting, right? That's the governments of the world right there. But yeah, to answer the question, I know I got long-winded there. Carol, I got long-winded there, but the reality is that if it's trauma, if it's creating trauma, if it's triggering you watching Senate proceedings, stop it. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. All right. Any other questions going on with you all in your weeks? Yeah, my dad tells us he will disown us if we don't vote Democrat. Wow, Glitter Girl. Yes, there you go. Glitter Girl. That's it. That is the liberal-minded that I'm kind of attacks, and they think nothing of it. They think it's no big deal. And a lot of it can even be passed off to, oh, I'm just joking. But that's very narcissistic, right? I dealt with that too. It's exactly what I dealt with my in-laws, you know. I'm not, they're Democratic. I'm not. I'll kill you. You know, and they're joking to her, I'll kill you. I'll fight anybody who's not Democrat. I'll fight anybody who's not liberal. And I'm like, where is this coming from, man? Is this really what liberalism is all about? I thought liberalism was supposed to be for freeing people in their thoughts and ideas, but what I see is an awful lot of hatred and anger, and it makes no sense to me whatsoever. And I'm like, okay, listen, I'm glad then I'm not on your side, because that's crazy. Crazy making stuff right there, man. Telling people you'll disown them and stuff because they don't agree with you. What the heck is that, man? Crazy. We're adults, but that doesn't matter. We have to be what party he wants us to be. Glitter Girl, I want to say right now, you are adult. You are an adult, and you do not have to be anything that anybody else wants you to be. Not daddy. As a matter of fact, I suggest you stop, right? Now, anyways, because at some point, if you are married or if you're not married, one day you're going to want to be married. I presume, maybe not, but you do not want to be daddy's girl going with what daddy says when you have a husband, because that will create a world war. You don't want to. I would start to separate yourself from your dad's beliefs and things. If you're an adult, your dad's time of raising you is over. Yes, he can give you pointers and guiders when you ask, but the reality is you're an adult now. You're not a slave. You're not you're not a puppet, and you're not owned, right? If you're on your own, you're on your own. If you're not on your own, then you probably have no choice, right? Nail on the head. Such attacks are not okay. I'm not against. Tanya's post here. Such attacks are not okay. I agree, Tanya. I'm not against a healthy debate, but the name calling and such I see in the world today is just disheartening. It is. Made me stop sharing. Well, I mean, it made me stop. I don't even share anymore because of it, because I got so tired of just being called names because of what I believed and my morals and values. It just was terrible. Having people hate you because of your values and your morals, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, But that is the world that we live in. It's terrible that happens. It's terrible. And Andrea also says what I said. Hi guys, totally stay away from watching. Used to be an issue with my ex. He would say I was ignorant for not watching, or that I reconfirmed to the mass thinking. Reconfirmed to the mass thinking. Yeah, no, yeah. Just don't even watch it. Don't even watch it. Narc Education Recovery has installed magnifying glass in my eyewear. So easy to see it. Yeah, I hear that. Glitter Girl, Glitter, I'm divorced. Yes, I have to lie to him about who I vote for. Sad. Andrea, totally was hard. There's a statement he purposely used, designed that conformist statement because he believed he was the only one thinking as a unique, intelligent being. Yeah, that is so wild to me. Yeah, most people who are on the liberal side too, they also believe that they're the only ones who are intellectually thinking, and they have no idea how they come across. It's so wild. Again, it's like an alternate reality. You know, it's beyond me sometimes. Not let's shift from that to narcissistic abuse because that's what we're here from. But it's beyond me how narcissists can think that calling you names, cussing you out is somehow it somehow sounds intellectual from them, coming from them. It somehow makes them sound smart and superior and this and that, right? It's that same mindset. Such a weird reality. You can't call them names, but they can call you names, and it only means that they are intellectually above you. So weird. So weird. Haters gonna hate. Yes, and Facebook is. Fifi La Fleur. Facebook is one of the things that ruined relationships with siblings, and it destroyed any chance of me having a relationship with my in-laws through Facebook. And I called it out. I remember in my when I was still involved with the in-laws and one of the last-ditch efforts that I was making to try to resolve all the tension and all the problem, there was fighting and name-calling. I could not go over there without having eyes rolled at me, being called names by somebody. Just the whole attitude towards me sucked. It stunk. It was just hate-filled, and they looked at me as being the bitter one, but I was walking into their name-calling. It made no sense, and they were the bitter ones. They're just bitter, angry people. That's what narcissists are. They're bitter, angry people who only feel good when they're joking and poking at somebody, right? Now, what's interesting is that, where was I going with that? Where was I going with that? I can't remember what I was going to say. I just had a total mind fart. Just left. At any rate, I'm going to try to save myself here and save this. But the reality they live in is just so wild that's it. It's mean, but and you can't stand up for yourself. You can't say anything back because that's just who they are. But you're not allowed to be that. In fact, one of the issues that I struggled with as I was healing from narcissistic abuse, and I would have my ruminating thoughts, those obsessive thoughts. Some of it would be in anger fantasies, violent fantasies, would be me saying horrible things back, me cussing at them, me calling them names and saying, how do you like it? You know what I mean? And just doing that. And when they would get mad and upset, say, oh no, remember, it's okay. After all, you do it. So I'm playing in your world now, right? I never have done that, and I probably never will. I have no need to. It's better just to stay away from them altogether because it's just so crazy. But it's just weird. It's a very weird reality. The narcissist reality is very strange. And I struggled with that for a long time. How could they do that? It just makes no sense. It's so confusing. So confusing. Kevin was walking into a situation. Yes, I have. I've teetered on walking into a situation. And that's what we all do, when we are discovering that we're dealing with narcissists, or actually before we even identify that they're narcissists, we tend to walk in to the situations. We try to fix the situation. We try to combat and defend ourselves in the situation. We try to make things right in the situation. You can't. You cannot do any of that. I didn't know this. I came from a sane line of thinking where you can talk out all your issues. Anything that you can talk it out. Let's talk this out. Let's reason. Let's rationalize together. And you can't do it. You can't do it. There's no reasoning and rationalizing with narcissists. It's so wild. What a mind-blowing reality. It really is just gross. Yuck. Gives me the heebie-jeebies. Artist Lover says, how long did it take for those memories to fade for you? Talking about the memories of dealing with the narcissist, the memories of being called names and cussed at, and what I should have, could have, and would have said to stand up for myself. So this is the part where, it's going to be different for everybody. And it took years. It was very bad The first year, and again, this was before the royal we, I spent a year without any idea of what narcissistic abuse was. I spent a year in such confusion because I had been cussed at, called names, attacked, bullied, and then on top of that, was told I am being selfish, ignorant. I am keeping my wife from her family. Everything was me. Everything was pointed at me from these people. So not only was I attacked viciously, but I was told about what a horrible person I was. And so I spent that first year from the narcissist trying to figure out what's true and what's not, as we all are. And it took me a good year because I hadn't been in a situation like that where I was attacked and then told that it was my fault. Okay. The most confusing, cognitive dissonance, disorienting thing I've ever experienced. I can see. You want to know why I have such a passion to help heal people? I can see how people can get stuck in abusive relationships, especially, women or anybody, where they start to get physically beaten because they're so confused that they can't move. I can understand that. This is why I empathize with you. I can empathize with your situation of why it was so tough to get out, because you're confused. You're attacked, but then you're told that it's your fault that you're being attacked. So you try to fix what it is that you're doing wrong. I even apologized. I set up a time to meet with this family, some of the people in this family, to offer sincere apology. This is how confused I was. I sat down and said, I want to apologize for anything I said, but I can't deal with the cussing. And I received the answer that I needed that night to help me get away from these people. And that was this. I apologized. And I said, I'm sorry if I said anything that was offensive to anybody in this family. I apologize for that. And I don't know exactly what I did anyways. With narcissists, they're angry at you for everything because they hate you. So there's no way to pinpoint what it is. But I just said, just an effort to clear everything. I said, I'm sorry. But I also said while I'm there, because I'm going to be a new dad, a new father, I said, listen, I can't deal with the name calling and the cussing and this and that. I cannot deal with that. Right? And here's the response I received. This was from the people in the family who I believed were the head of the family. They said, well, Kevin, we're always going to defend our family. Right? That right there spoke volumes to me. What I heard at that moment was what I needed to hear. And that's this. You're not this family. And so however you're treated by the people here is how you're treated. And it's up to you. That's when I really got my butt in gear and said, you know what? This is ridiculous. Okay, I get it. I'm glad I apologized looking back. And I went back and forth on that for another 6 months. Should I have apologized? Was it the right thing to do? They didn't apologize, blah, 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 blah. And I had to find my faith again. And God had to speak to me and say, listen, you apologized not to heal that relationship. You apologized so you can get the heck out of there knowing that you did the best you could to clean your side. So that's exactly what I did. Clean my side, left the relationship, not going around to be called names anymore. And I realized that I had no business trying to fit in with that family. I just couldn't do it. It's not the way I want to lead my children. It's not the way, and I'm not judging. I'm not saying that they're, they can lead their children how they want to, but I'm not going to do it with the name calling and the cussing. That's just my values. And at this point in time, if that makes me ignorant and this and that, whatever, I could care less now. It took 2 years to get to that point where I can say I could care less. I realized that my parenting, my life, my family does not depend on their approval, right? Narcissists like to make you feel like you have to have their approval. The emotional turmoil of the whole experience lasted a long time. It was heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking when you give and give and give, and when you're trying to love. And granted, I did things that weren't perfect. I stood up for myself, for crying out loud. I said things like, I'm not going to come around and be around the cussing. And this type of stuff causes narcissistic rage. To them, how dare somebody call them out, right? Um, yeah, and so it takes a while. It takes a long time. It took about 3 years probably total. The first year was the worst. I was very upset, very heartbroken over the situation. Uh, a lot of it was mourning, and then after that, after the first year, then it was mourning the loss of what I hoped to have in an extended family. Being able to get close and talk and lift each other up and support. I wanted that. I really did. But when you are in that situation and all you're getting is being called ignorant and a-hole and selfish, and I mean, what am I going to... So I had to mourn the loss of not having that type of family. But here's what happened is that the royal we was born out of this. And so I am not going to sit here and say that I regret any of that now, because I was given, I was put into a family of you. And this is a family now where I do resonate, where there's an appreciation. I appreciate you and you appreciate me. And this is what family is right here to me. This is what family is. There's so much love. And every time I go to the Royal We Facebook support group, I see love in there. I see people helping each other out. This is what it's all about. That to me is family. I see people lifting each other up. I don't see anybody calling anybody names. I don't see any of you cussing each other out. I don't see any of that hate-filled animosity, bitter stuff. And that to me is family. So really, it's up to you and it's up to me to go out and to find the family that we belong in. And if you watch my last videos, organic videos, I've made it perfectly clear that I personally believe, and I use the Bible as a reference, that family does not necessarily just mean your biological family. As a matter of fact, that doesn't have to be family at all, right? The people who raise you are just that, people who raise you. Your father, your mother, you can honor them, you can be good to them, but you do not have to stay connected to them, right? Social norms put that pressure on you. And watch the video. I made some excellent points in that. Let's see. Kevin, I mourn that loss too. People I thought were family treated me worse than a total stranger would. Yeah, I always thought it was strange when you deal with narcissists. So typically narcissists are going to be people who are very close to you, right? Family, boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse. And it's wild to watch them treat total strangers better than you. I even heard one admit that. I treat family the worst. And I was thinking to myself, listen to yourself. Why would you treat your own... Listen, who do you expect to be there with you on holidays? Strangers? No, your family. So why would you treat your family worse than you would strangers? That makes no sense to me. But with narcissists, that's their reality. They have to treat family bad. And then they have to put on that fake niceness to the outside world. Right? Either way, they don't have a very close relationship. Everything is a distance. So family members who get too close is pushed out to a distance. And then strangers who they meet are kept out at a distance anyways. And so that's just how narcissists live. Yes. All right. Let's see. Any other questions? Hey, and the telephone number is posted up there. You're welcome to make that phone call for those of you who need to. Those of you who need to talk, you're welcome to call in. Other than that, I hope you all had the opportunity to watch the new video I posted just tonight. And the topic of that video, that I posted on the organic channel tonight, is what was the topic? Someone remind me. It wasn't about getting glasses. It wasn't just about getting glasses. That was the challenge. And I hope that you all take this challenge seriously. Listen, what I'm putting into the Royal We videos once a week in 2020 is the Royal We Treat Yourself or Challenge Yourself. This has a purpose. It's not just to, yes, I'm exercising some creativity on my part, but it has a purpose. It's something that I'm forcing myself to do on a weekly basis, and it's something that you should be forcing yourself to do on a weekly basis, which is to challenge yourself to do something. Do something that is taking care of yourself. Maybe something you've been uh, something you've been putting off, getting glasses, going to the doctor, getting your teeth done. I'm actually thinking about going and getting my teeth done. All right. So, and be prepared. One of the episodes, 1 week, I'm going to go and get my bottom teeth worked on. I'll probably take you with me. I know it's disgusting, but self-care. That's right, Tanya. There's a purpose behind these videos, and that is to make you get up and do something every week, because part of healing, I promise you, you will not start to discover yourself until you get out and you start doing things either by yourself or with close people who you do love and do have a good relationship with. All right? But you have to do that in addition to watching videos, right? We can't just, listen, I spent a lot of time isolating myself, and I know, and it was great. It has its purpose. It has its time. Isolate yourself for a time, but then challenge yourself to once a week do something. Narc-free, narcissist-free, but do something. All right? Not being fearful of the narcissist. Yep. Yep. I'm also, just to give you a heads up, thinking of some other ideas. So I'd like to do, I'm trying my best to grind for you all, trying to get plenty of videos out. So the goal right now is for once a week to do a video that has the treat or challenge, where once a week I challenge you to do something. I do something, I challenge you to do something for you. One video is just going to be me just talking, just blabbering my mouth about some revelation that I've had from narcissistic abuse. And I would like to use, some scripture, whatever, biblical references, things to really help. The third video is I'm thinking of doing a more of a thing that I would like to get people laughing. So hopefully I will be doing that this week. You'll see that. So be prepared for 3 weeks. Yeah. I haven't seen Blue here. I hope she's okay. Oh, you posted about self-care today, Tanya? Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Artist lover, the smear campaign is what kept... The smear campaign will keep you isolated. All right? It kept me isolated too. It kept me isolated. One of the things, artist lover, that I'll tell you is this. The smear campaign made me feel so small in comparison to all these people. As time has gone, over 3 years, I realize now how small of a circle it actually was. It was the one family and their friends. And beyond that, you know how narcissists operate. People stop believing them and hanging out with them, and so nobody cares anymore. So really, what seemed like a gigantic amount of people at one time is really this big, this little tiny... Like I'm thinking of that meme right now with the Asian guy holding that little piece of paper saying, list of everybody who was on the smear campaign against me. It's tiny. And and the reason is because when you invest in these relationships, whether it's a family or whatever, you're making that your world. And so it seems so big. But as you move on in life and you discover a brand new world and you're living your life, that world that you were not supposed to be putting your whole heart into shrinks. And it gets down to its appropriate size, which is really small. I realize now that the family and the people, not my people. At one time, it was a big world for me. It was a big opportunity. It was a big family for me. It was my hope. It was what I wanted. But as I moved away and I've been working on my own family, building my own relationships, starting the Royal We, it shrunk down to nothing. It shrunk down to nothing. So you feel isolated now, I know, because it seems so big. It seems like you're suffering this huge loss because of the smear campaign. But in time, when you build new relationships, so long as you're going no contact and you're healing, that world will shrink down to its rightful size, which is small, and your new life will blow up. I hope that makes sense to you. Andrea, video sure got me in gear again. Good. I'm glad it did. Started slacking in self-care. Feeding chickens, hauling wood, and shoveling snow was looking scary. I hear you. Andrea. Yeah, no, it's good to get back into self-care. Get back into who you are. Donovan Brooks says, thank you, Kevin and the Royal We family. Why does the church never address narcissism from the pulpit, especially when leaders see it with its own congregation? Many thanks. Oh, Donovan. Donovan. That's such a deep question that actually is going to be talked about in an upcoming video. All right. I'm going to give you the short answer right here, Donovan, and that is because modern Christianity is way off base, and modern Christianity is actually founded in narcissistic roots. I mean, let's think about it for a minute. Let's go from the way the Bible was taught at the time of Jesus. In the New Testament, the Old Testament, they had what's known as midrashes. And yes, there was churches being formed, and yes, there were elders being picked and selected. But everybody in the congregation that came together had a function, had a part. It wasn't this big rock show that people went to and sat in the pews and watched the stage get smoked and fogged up with screaming guitars and Hillsong and Jesus culture and all this stuff. It's become such a narcissistic show, and it's built on emotion. This is why they fog up the room. They shine the bright lights. They put Jesus in big flashing yellow lights, woo, so people can cry. And I'm not mocking them. I'm saying it's a show. It's a show. They've turned the Bible and modern Christianity has turned Jesus into a show. All right? You cannot do that unless your establishment is narcissistic. So modern Christianity is no longer even established on the rock. Peter was the rock. And I'm Peter, right? The churches will be built. Modern Christianity said, to heck with Peter, man. We want a 20 member rock show worship band, man, and we want make sure there's free coffee, and we'll be giving tattoos every other Sunday, and you know what I mean? Very hipsterish and this and that. So, and I know churches out there will be like, wow, we're just keeping up. We're trying to draw in the people. You know, Jesus said, be all things to all people, and that's not what it meant. It didn't mean turn the church into a mockery. So, at any rate, it deserves its own video because we've all been kind of duped. Part of the most painful thing about narcissistic abuse is that the church offers no help or no solution. The help and the solution from the church is to, Jesus died on the cross, and so this is what I received. So, you know, just deal with the pain of it. Yeah. I said, are you kidding me? That's it. It almost made me have a real moment of denouncing my faith. I did. I'm going to share this with you, with the Royal We family right now. I denounced my faith. I had it out with God. I yelled. I screamed. I said, I don't want nothing to do with this anymore. But God didn't leave me because he knows my heart. He knows your heart. And so God tapped on my shoulder and said, congratulations, right? It's not me you're having a problem with. It's the church. It's the teachings. It's the whole lovey-dovey culture. Go out, grab someone's hand, take them to church, sit next, tell the person you're sitting next to how much you love them, this and that, even though you don't, right? It's none of that stuff. That's what you have a problem with. And I was a worship team member for some mega massive churches in Southern California. I'm not going to say the names, but I was a worship leader. I'm a bass player, and I played bass, and so I was a part of that show. And I can say it from that perspective. And don't get me wrong, there were moments where I was in the Spirit, and I felt the Spirit, and it was great. But at the same time, it was so washed out. It was an overwhelming desire to trigger people's emotions, to prepare them. A lot of it I didn't fully understand until after I got out of it and said, what in the world was I doing? What was I doing? Uh, anyways, it's hard. It's hard. The whole issue of faith right now, what churches come down to, you can see pastors on YouTube fighting each other, swinging, throwing punches, getting each. It's terrible. This is the result of the modern Christianity, right? I know this is long-winded because all you asked was why don't churches preach on it? Because they can't preach about it. They can't preach any help by it when they are in a way in it. They're blinded by being in the world, in the narcissistic world, catering to a narcissistic world. They're blinded by that. Yes, that's it, Kevin. My grandma used to say, I don't love the people sitting next to me. Yeah, it's the truth. It's the truth. I think one of the most devastating things about that the church was that I started to, because it's so fake, right? Reach over, tell someone you're happy to see them, tell them you love them, blah, blah, blah. And I get it. Okay, I see you, glitter girl. Hang on one second. But one of the things that bothered me is that when I started to see that doesn't work anywhere else, because I was that guy going around outside of church saying, hey, how you doing? I'm so happy to see you. And in a narcissistic world, that's, they're like, dude, you're, yeah, some exploitative cuss word right at me. Just blew my world up. How come it's not working here? How come people aren't happy? They're happy in church because it's fake. It's not real. People go into the church walls and they act something that they're not, right? All right. Glitter girl, I have a question. Kevin, I'm struggling with feeling I'm still in love with my ex-husband. That is a passive-aggressive narc. After all he's done, I don't understand why I still long for him. It's a tough one. I don't know how long you've been out of the relationship. I don't even know. Okay, he is the ex-husband, so I take it you are divorced. I don't know the reasons you are divorced. Okay, so there's a whole lot that could be in there. Infidelity, cheating, other women, this and that. Whatever the grounds was for divorcing, that has to be the solid reason, right? Because that's who and what you're truly dealing with, okay? The other part is you're dealing with the idea of what a good husband could be. Maybe you saw little bits and pieces of that. But that's really what you're longing for. You're longing for a good husband, not necessarily him in the situation, but a good man. Since you were married to him, that became your representative of a husband. Unfortunately, it wasn't what your idea had, but your idea still wants to make it that, right? It's trying not to confuse it, but it's the same thing with me. I miss the idea of having a family, okay? And that can translate into me missing being with the big family, the in-law, the siblings, my cousins, this and that, because I miss family, all right? But what I'm learning is that family is here with you. And so I don't need to miss, if it's just the idea of family, all I have to do is transfer that. Say, okay, here's the family. Okay, what once used to be the representative of family, these people over here, they represent what family was to me. Now I understand that family is so much more. Family is here with you. Family is open and honest, and this is family, right? So in your situation, you have your ex-husband. He represented what a husband is supposed to be. It didn't meet the idea, but you still have that idea. And since he was your closest representative, you're still putting that on him, right? Until you are directed into the right path of where you should be, then that can take over for this idea of having a husband. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. And also, there's trauma bonding too. Trauma bonding is very real. You struggling with, as I said earlier, struggling with perhaps you being the reason, all right? This is something that we all struggle with coming out of narcissistic abuse because they do that. Bullies and abusive people do that. Tear you down, tell you it's your fault. Tear you down, and tell you if only you could be better. And so this is where you have to say, no, 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 no. Okay, this is not happening. This is some kind of weird alternate reality. And you start to list the facts. Okay, here's the facts. I do all the cooking, all the cleaning. I performed all kinds of sexual acts. I was faithful. I was here. I don't understand what I'm doing he's never once accused me of anything directly being selfish or anything like that. So that's when you're able to start saying, okay, what they're saying don't meet with the facts of what's truly taking place. That's when you know you're living in two different worlds, two different realities. There's no breaking that barrier. Fifi Lafleur, we don't live in a Disney world. That's an illusion. It's false. Happily ever after is only in storybooks. Wow. D really put the nail in that one, huh? Boom. Drop the mic, D. Happily ever after is only in storybooks. You know, life is messy. Train and study for it. Become a warrior and live it. You know, happiness is... I'm going to agree with D on happiness. All right? Happiness is... or happily ever after is only for storybooks, right? There's no... And I think the pursuit of happiness, how many of you have heard of that? The pursuit of happiness. Very narcissistic pursuit. And I'll tell you why. Happiness is just an emotion. That's all it is. Narcissists are happy when they cuss somebody out. Call people names. Bullies are happy when they fight a smaller dude and win. So to say the pursuit of happiness is incorrect. To say that we as human beings have the right to pursue happiness, that's what created this mess, this narcissistic mess. Because like I just said, happiness can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. For you, happiness is just being together with someone to love. Well, guess what? For your narcissistic ex, happiness is doing whatever they want to do behind your back and having you for love. That's their happiness. So, and for, you know what I mean? I can go on and on and on. So I'm starting to learn that happiness is something that should be taken out of our vocabulary, okay? We should not be striving to find happiness, because happiness will send you on a never-ending pursuit down a rabbit hole of trying and experimenting all kinds of weird things, including being a narcissist, in order to try and find it, because it doesn't exist, all right? Instead of happiness, I believe the goal is to find peace and contentment. If you can find peace and contentment, you're ahead of the game, and you are on your way, and you know who you are. You're at peace with yourself. You're content with your lot in life, with what you've been given. And I'm not just saying, well, maybe some of you live in a shack. You're not content with that. I'm not talking about that. I'm content with who you are as an individual, your gifts, your abilities. Be at peace with that. Your beauty, your inner beauty, your outer beauty. Be at peace with yourself. Be at peace with your values, your beliefs, your morals. Be at peace with your relationship. Be content your relationship with God. And then all other things are secondary and can be added and taken away. Houses, cars, money, jobs, all that stuff should have nothing to do with your happiness. That's just stuff. That's stuff that can fill your time, right? But you should focus on trying to be content. Hope that makes sense to you. That's my take on it. I'd rather be interested than chase happiness. Interesting. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Pets can be replaced. Who knows? Might be better to do it. All right. $50,000 later, I walked away broke in more ways than one. He walked away with $50,000. I came out ahead. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. The pursuit of holiness is what will bring peace. Jamie Nash, I agree 100%. That's it. The pursuit of holiness, the pursuit of completeness, of pursuit of, again, just being content, being at peace. And with that, everybody, we'll go ahead and wrap this episode up. I am so happy that you've been here. I missed Blue tonight, but I'm so happy to see all of you here. Thank you so much for being here. If you have not yet, hit the like, hit the subscribe on this channel. Also, go to the Organic Royal Weed channel. Watch the new video that I uploaded tonight. Hit the like there. Smash that like button there. Can't believe I'm talking like a YouTuber now. Doggone it. Smash that like button there. And also, be sure to visit www.jointheroyalwe.com. That is the central hub where you can get connected with everything on the Royal We, including the channels, the live stream, the Instagram, the Facebook, the official Facebook support group, and one-on-one appointments. If you'd like to work one-on-one with me outside of this, where we work together on some of the issues that you're dealing with, you can schedule that appointment through the website. With that, thank you so much. I know it goes by fast. Carol will be here next Monday night, right here on the Royal We. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Have a great week, and we will see you on Monday. Thank you for liking the music. And Cheryl Stone, I think you are awesome, so thank you. You're gonna make me say goodbye again. Okay, everybody, have a great night and a great rest of the week, and we will be back next Monday. Bye, family.